John Reeves. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I got you now. Technical difficulties. We're live finally. I think it's. I think it showed on my browser we were live.
I like it, man. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Overcame it. Look at us now.
Oh my lord.
Couldn't do it.
Anyways, sorry guys. Anyways,
Here.
I'm Rebel Dog. This is John Reeves Live. I still get that backwards. I hope everybody's still stuck around. If not, come back.
Yeah, man.
But
right.
Oh.
I'll send out some freaking send out some messages.
This is crazy. I just cannot believe it. It's just like, yeah, I just
Also, I can like hear you a little bit, but it's coming through your stream instead of like through the StreamYard thing. So you might be muted on there. Can like
hold on, it's gonna be default chat. Can you hear me now?
Well, maybe not. Maybe I gotta do this. Maybe I gotta go to audio and then speaker AirPods. Test it, maybe.
Hello.
I can totally hear it on that. I don't know. I can hear you if I turn up your speaker. Like if I turn you up in Twitch, I can hear it, but I can't hear if I like in the StreamYard thing.
Oh, wait a minute. No, what about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you
okay. For some reason, I guess when it glitched out, it threw my camera out of the room. So
Nice. There you go. Well, now I can hear you, dude.
All right, now we're back.
We live.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah, the only thing I can think has happened is I had my other TV plugged into my computer last night when I was messing around with stuff, and I usually, I don't know, I think it was just too much. But I think it was recording. I think when I hit the recording, I think it was pulling too much CPU. But,
there you go.
But welcome.
These things happen, man. Thank you. We did it. We overcame it.
Yes.
We're good now.
Yes. Anyways, so how you been, man?
Really good, really good. Literally right before getting on here, I maybe like, well, now it's an hour and a half ago, but I drank a pre-workout and I worked out and blew my arms off, so I'm completely focused now.
Completely focused now.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Cross our fingers and toes and everything. I don't know. I guess I must have hit my camera when I was freaking out. But yeah, no. Anyways, like I said, we are live on YouTube and Twitch.
Oh, nice.
So hang on just a second. I got to re-pull up the chat for YouTube because for some reason it does not work. And this one, like the Twitch chat does. But
there you go. Yeah, I don't like. I've been using Streamlabs OBS, and dude, it will not. I don't know why, but I can never see the YouTube chat ever. It's the worst.
Yeah, and I haven't figured that out. I mean, it's just like I can't even communicate between both chats. And Twitch chat, like I said, it'll pull up Twitch chat, and you can communicate back and forth on here, just like you were chatting on Twitch. But for some reason, I don't know if it's like delayed to the point to where it just times out. But I don't know. It's crazy. Technology.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, you being a podcaster, you know this kind of stuff too. It's just like nothing ever works the way we want it. And when it does work the way we want it to work, it's like what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, something fishy is going on. Like I always feel like something bad's about to happen if everything goes smoothly. But yeah, like honestly, whenever I think like you might be the same way too, but whenever I first started doing a podcast, I had like, we were using a GoPro and not streaming it live. It was like all pre-recorded on a GoPro.
Mhm.
And then I would move it from a GoPro, just Bluetooth, send the files over to my phone from my GoPro. And it took like hours, dude. And then I
Yeah.
had to edit it all on an iPhone movie maker thing and then upload it to YouTube. So like after that, it's gotten a lot easier, I think. Now, like being able to troubleshoot and stuff like that has gotten a lot easier from just like the trials that I've had.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. I don't know. It's just like, and I'm sure you get these questions too. It's a lot of times it's like, eh, how do you become a podcaster? How do you do that?
Mm.
I mean, that's one of the things. That's one of the things I like about your show and stuff like that, and your stream is like you're high energy. You go. I mean, you're very entertaining. You keep your chat involved,
Heck
and
yeah.
and that's like I know because when I first started doing the podcast, I researched a lot of just low level podcasts. You know, people that only maybe just started or they only had like 2 or 3 videos up of their podcast or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, and then like I said, when I met you through GGs and stuff like that, and looking at some of your stuff and watching your streams and going in and watching and hanging out in your streams and stuff like that, it just like, okay, you know, the energy's there now it kind of helped me too. It's just like, okay, now I know what I need to do to mine. I guess I always knew, but just was like trying to get yourself past that point because
yeah.
but yeah, so how did you get started in the podcasting anyway?
So I don't know. I'm not necessarily like a different person on and off stream. Maybe I turn it up just a little bit, or like take the proverbial collar off a little bit, you know. But like, we were having a conversation with my old drummer Chris, and he is now my co-host for the podcast, the Heck podcast that I do. And we were having a conversation. And he was like, "Dude, have you ever wanted to start a podcast?" I was like, yeah, I mean, I listen to him all the time. And I was listening to a lot of Joe Rogan and stuff at the time while I was driving to different jobs. I drive like 2-3 hours a day at least. So I was listening to a ton of podcasts. And yeah, me and him, anytime we talk, we had these long-winded conversations. And so I was like, yeah, I'm definitely down. And I know a lot of different musicians and like fighters and different like artists and stuff just from being in the music scene and the fighting scene for a while. And I was like, I'm going to get on here. And I'm not the best person to be like, you want to do this? Because like the next week we're gonna be doing it. Like it will happen. so like, yeah, I don't know. He said, you want to do this? And the next week I had a guest set up. I had a backdrop for like a podcast and had the whole. I didn't really know what we were gonna do, but I knew we were gonna do it. And so yeah, just kind of went with it, man.
Yeah. That's kind of like everybody asks me. So it's like, well, what do you need to do? You know, what equipment do you have to have? And I'm like, well, you really don't, just what you stream with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you know, and I'm not the person to ask either because, like I said, I've only been like really into it for what 7 months now, maybe something like that.
Oh, there you go, though.
But yeah, just like you said, it's just like it's just like streaming. You just find the connections. Ask your family, friends, whatever you want to find somebody that you're comfortable with first on your first ones. I think would be better.
Yeah.
You know, that way you're comfortable, then you get used to basically talking with them, or if you want to do an interview style. I mean, I try to stick away from actually saying interviews because I feel that kind of like makes people like really, really nervous. Because I know like some of the ones I had on when I sit there and they go, well, what kind of interview is this? And I said, well, it's not really an interview. I go, just think of it as like sitting down with a friend or somebody over a cup of coffee or a beer or something like that and just chatting. But
yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that that's a better way of doing it. And instead of it being like that, like a late night talk show style where it's like, I don't know, like segmented questions and stuff. It's just a better flowing conversation, you know?
Yeah.
And then my dog chimes in. So I'm sorry if you hear her out there. She's just she's a little territory little dog out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine are usually back here bugging me or doing something, so it's like because they sleep right here underneath my desk back behind me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I can't shut the door because they'll sit out there and whine. But
See, I think if I let my dog in, she'd probably just pass out underneath the table under here. But
Yep.
she's a Great Dane, and she is just
Oh.
clunky as crap.
Yep.
She'll like, yeah, she's a doofus.
Yep. Well,
But
anyways, since we kind of got like a rough start, usually the way I start the podcast, usually the way I start these off, and I'll edit it all through together when I get done with it and put it all together.
nice.
The magic of editing.
Oh yeah.
But usually, just kind of give a spiel. You know, who are you? What do you do? Where do you stream? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I'm John or JohnReavesLive. And I stream on Twitch. I've been doing that for a while. I started out on YouTube with something called the Heck Podcast, and then from that, kind of we were doing the podcast a lot. It was like a weekly thing, and just gradually got a little bit better technologically. Like it started off, like I was telling you earlier, those the GoPro videos, and like man, that was a nightmare. It was so rough. Like there's so many little tiny things that happened where it was just like for instance, going from a GoPro to an iPhone, for some reason, it went into slow-mo halfway through the video. So I had to like condense it from, it was like, I don't know, I had to like speed it up to 1.5 to just make it normal time. It was weird, dude. There were so many things that I had to do editing that to really fix it. But we did a lot of that. Slowly but surely, we got into like live streaming on YouTube instead of the pre-recorded stuff. And my friend Chris, my co-host, was like, dude, I really want to start doing this Twitch streaming. And I play video games all the time anyways. And I was like checking into it a little bit more. And I was already doing the YouTube stuff. So it kind of was like, it seemed like a natural movement from the podcast to streaming.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and again, I'm not really that guy to be like, oh, this would be cool if we do this, because I'm gonna be like, let's freaking do it. And yeah, so he kept talking about it for a while. He had been talking about it for months, and I was finally like, you know what, I'm gonna see how hard it is to really do this. So I looked into Twitch, what was streaming, how do you make money doing it, found out about the affiliate program and stuff. And so I set a goal for myself before I started streaming. I was like, I'm gonna be affiliated in the shortest amount of time possible. So I watched a video on like how to become an affiliate, and the video that I watched again was not the greatest one for me personally to watch, because he was like, you can get affiliated in a month if you really try. And he was like, you could technically do it in a week, but I don't think you should go for that. And I was like, a week then, huh? Let's do it. So yeah, so I shot for a week and ended up getting affiliated. I met a lot of really cool streamers. There's a streamer called Mr. Still Your Dad, who I like, one of the first people that I met, and he introduced me to a lot of different people. That and a guy named T Gunna Gaming. So like those two together, I could not have like stumbled on a better first stream to get onto. Like those two dudes helped me out so much. I wasn't even on Twitter whenever I met them. And they were both like, you got to get on here. This is where all the gamers talk. So, but then through that, man, I ended up meeting Austin, or Greasy, or GG's, Goodnight Panda, whatever he goes by. Met up with him. I started being like, this is probably in like a 2-month time span of me starting streaming. I met Austin, and then I got into a gaming community, and they were like, hey, you want to start recruiting for us? And I was like, yeah. And things just started snowballing because I kept just trying to talk to people, and I don't know, just being like really like friendly and personable, I guess.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I try, man. But I think it comes like, before I streamed and did a podcast, I was like a musician. So I do like stage shows, and whenever you really aren't that good at playing music and you're playing like 300 shows a year, you got to make up for it somehow, So I was like
300 shows a year. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've got a trophy somewhere in here for like the most gigs played out of like the Nashville bands. So there's like the Nashville Metal Music Awards, and we won that for like most gigs played in a year. And I think that's like the most proudest trophy that I've ever gotten.
Yeah, because that's a lot. I mean, I don't know if people don't realize that, but doing that 300 in a year, that's a lot.
It was like, Yeah, it was like 320 something exactly. I can't remember what it was, but it was like 320 something. But we double booked a lot of the times. So we
Mhm.
play like Nashville and then Memphis. And it was fun. It was fun. We'd open in Nashville and go close out in Memphis and play at like 2 o'clock in the morning to like the venue owner, you know. But it was cool. It was really
Sweet.
cool. But I feel like the stuff from music helped me out a lot in like streaming and doing podcasts and just being able to talk to people because I booked all of our shows. I did like the promotion for our shows and did all that stuff. So I think like the things that I learned from that like helped me uh in this world.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing too. You know, that's one thing it is I mean, if it's just not streaming. I mean, it's anything. If you're doing anything entertainment value, you've got to have if
Mm-hmm.
you've got to find something that makes you comfortable. Because I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, this camera does not lie. I mean, it'll show your worst times. It'll show your best times. It'll show. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
the camera sucks sometimes because it does. It's like sees right through you into your deep into your soul and pulls. You know,
Dude,
but
yes.
so yeah, it's just like you got to find something that you've got to be you. I mean, you've got to be enjoyable. You've got to enjoy what you're doing so it shows on the camera. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
I
No, I
mean,
mean that makes sense, and it's true. Like, there's so many people that I've met. Like, whenever I first got into streaming, I kind of said this a lot, and I really should not have probably said this as much. But I, I was like, being used to be in the music industry, there's a lot of like cutthroat people in Nashville. So it's like everybody's like, oh, you got this show. Well, screw you. We're not going to book you on our shows because like they're jealous or whatever. And there's a lot of like toxicity in the music scene here, especially because it's so competitive. It's just like
oh yeah, I bet.
condensed. And so like getting in the streaming industry, I was like, or in the scene here, it just seemed a lot nicer and everybody seemed a lot cooler. But there's some definite people like just some snakes in the grass, so to speak, and like, I don't know. It, like you said, I think the camera kind of like shows that in a sense, and like give it enough time, and
Oh
some of the
yeah,
fake people will just like, I don't know,
yeah. I
be
mean,
weeded out, I guess.
yeah. I mean, it's just like all those ones. What was it over last Christmas when everything, when the pressure of COVID and all that was, or the pandemic, the lockdown was getting on everybody's.
Mm-hmm.
Financially, you had all those streamers coming out. The $5 a month streamers that's all they were
Yeah.
degrading their chat because they weren't subbing to them. And stuff. I mean, no,
Dude,
dude, you
yes,
can't
it's
do that.
ridiculous. Yeah, that one girl, I can't remember what she said, but she was like, "You can't even afford a $5 thing." I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh my god!"
yeah,
So good teachers, very good teachers of how not to be. We just
yep,
gotta learn from that.
yeah,
God.
yeah. As like I said, yeah. I mean, and that's one thing is. There's one thing too. I mean, if there's any new people here that are thinking about getting into streaming or wanting to get into
Mm.
streaming, do not get into it because you think you're going to be rich overnight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was watching somebody the other day talk about that because I don't what I do in the background, all this stuff is I research a lot of stuff, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
just like even some of the big name streamers took them years to get to where they are now.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it doesn't show it,
Mm-hmm.
and people that are coming into the streaming atmosphere now, it's because they make it look so simple because they've had years of practice of
Mm-hmm.
doing it, so it doesn't seem like they really struggled. But
Yeah.
I've talked to a bunch of streamers. I talk to streamers constantly on this show,
Mm-hmm.
and especially when Mixer was around. Mixer was a real boost to a lot of people, but I think there was a lot of things wrong with Mixer that boosted those
Mm-hmm.
people in a wrong way. But yeah, it's just like trying to find, like you said, it's going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
The real person's going to come out. Sooner or later, unless you're just a full fledged entertainer. Like we've had Psycho on here. Psycho plays.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Mixer partner. He's a Twitch partner now. He's kind of taking a break right now because he's had to take care of his family first because real life does happen for
Oh
us.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's taking a break from content creating right now to provide for his family, which is totally understandable. Yeah. And that's one thing I like about the streaming community. Like you were talking about cutthroat,
Mm-hmm.
this is like I've worked in a lot of jobs that are cutthroat, but doing this streaming and content creating, I mean, it seems like everybody I've met, I haven't felt that with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, barely. I don't know. I guess whenever I started doing like the whole recruiting thing, that's whenever I started meeting a lot of kind of like fake people, and I was like, ugh.
Mm.
So I kind of learned to guard myself a little bit more against it. But I don't know. I think it. I mean, honestly, yes, definitely the positivity outweighs any negative, like any negative experience that I've had in streaming for sure.
Yeah.
Like 1,000%.
I mean,
And it,
did you ever stream on Mixer?
no, I never did. I kind of like I knew of Mixer, but it kind of I think it crashed or it like went down kind of so to speak, like maybe a month or two after I started streaming.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but I met a lot of people that had just left Mixer, and honestly, some of the best streamers that I know were Mixer streamers first, like
Tank Trap.
Tinks HD,
Oh,
yeah,
Tank. Yeah. Okay.
and then him and there's another one called Burgundy and Teach. They're freaking awesome. They're like a husband and wife Call of Duty co-streamer,
Oh,
and yeah, double threat. They're pretty
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I like those. I like those that bring the
Mm,
family into it. Either if it's the father. I've seen a couple of father son duos.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, bringing your family into this, that's great. Because it's going to be the way of life from now on. I mean, whether
hmm,
it's gaming, content creating, podcasting, doing this is the way we're going to be living for probably the rest of our lives, is doing stuff online now.
yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think like the whole metaverse thing. I don't know. Like,
Oh,
what is your thoughts on that? Have you looked into that very much?
not really. I know I'm trying to get into it because I want to learn about it. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of Facebook. Never
Yeah,
really have
same,
been. Um, I think Facebook is just. I've got so many theories on Facebook.
dude. They're Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard person. That's my thoughts. That guy is freaking crazy. Like,
Well, have you noticed? Back what was it back here a couple of years ago before everything happened? I mean, he looked normal. Now you look at him, he
dude,
does look fake.
he does. I don't know. I'm hoping that he's just embracing it. He's like, they think I'm a robot. Let's just be a robot. Hopefully that's how he's doing it, dude. Because yeah, he looks creepy as hell.
Yeah, I mean,
Really
he's
creepy.
flawless. His face is flawless. There's no and before he went to start doing all the trials and stuff for
Hmm.
going to Congress, he was like
Yeah,
us. He had facial you could features and
yeah.
stuff like that. But now he's just like boom, looks
In
like
the
some.
worst possible way, flawless.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I saw him on an interview the other day when he was talking about Metaverse, and I'm like, oh, good God, what the hell
what
is
the?
that?
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's like the human brain recognizing that that is not human anymore.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Our weirdness about the way he looks is like just the human brain not recognizing another human. That's what it is.
I mean,
He's
yeah,
he's three ducks in a man suit.
but
Yeah.
now for the most part about Metaverse, I mean, like I said, I mean that's going to be our way of life. I mean, we're going to
Mhm.
be that's just what we're going to have to get used to doing, with everything that's gone on in but my
Yeah.
biggest fear about Metaverse is
Hmm.
that the kids growing up with that now, I mean, they're already growing up with technology.
Hmm.
They're growing up with game. We grew up with video games. We grew up with, we didn't grow up with what the kids are growing up with now, like cell phones and big computer games and
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and streaming and stuff like that. But um, being able to grow up into a place to where you can make your own universe, your own reality, and
Hmm.
live in that reality.
Hmm.
Um, because the stories that they get told about, getting bullied, from their older siblings or whatever, about getting bullied in school,
Hmm.
that's gonna resonate on them, and they're going to deep dive into that metaverse,
Yeah.
that alternate reality where they're not bullied. They could be king of whatever island they create. They could,
Hmm.
but what happens when, my biggest fear is what happens when, and it's already happened on several times, especially with West Virginia, with the infrastructure got hacked, on their gas line.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if somebody hacks that completely, or even hacks the power grids, like one of the conspiracy theory rumors are,
Hmm.
that's what's supposed to happen, is like somebody's supposed to be, the power grids are vulnerable, and somebody can hack it and take down the entire power grids.
Yeah, I can't remember how many there actually are or whatever in the area, but yeah, there's it seems vulnerable.
So, I mean, so these kids, my biggest problem with Metaverse is these kids get involved in that, sucked
Mhm.
into that to where their own reality. And then something like that happens, a domestic terrorism or something like that happens, and it totally brings down, and we're without, all of us are without technology,
Yeah,
power, and stuff like that. Those kids are not going to know how to defend themselves when, they're not going
yeah,
to, they're not going to be able to survive. They're not going to be able to function.
I agree, man. And that even brings kind of like a deeper question, like I guess not even the domestic terrorism aspect of it, but what happens when we do unplug? You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like there's a lot of people in. I get it. Like they need a safe space. They need a place that they can like become something else because maybe in real life they're not as confident, or in real life they're not as successful, or in real life they don't have as many friends or something like that. But like not being able to apply those things that you're doing in the game in real life, it's get like yeah, there I guess there has to be some like fruits for it, you know, so where
Yeah.
in real life these things that you're doing in the metaverse can be somehow or another sustainable in real life, because especially if we really start diving into it and it becomes like the norm to be like, oh well, it's 8 o'clock, I'm awake, I'm gonna go metaverse.
Yeah.
Like if it becomes that big of a thing, which I mean maybe it will, I don't know, but if it does, I think that we need to like it people need to be able to like interact outside of it as
Yeah.
well too, and I think that's a big thing.
Yeah. Because
Definitely.
it's just like you remember Jim Carrey's show. What was it? The Truman Show.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like Metaverse. I mean,
Hmm.
except for it was a studio that put together an entire world this kid grew up in, didn't know nothing else but this world.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. But no, that
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, the whole creepy alien thing with Zuckerberg and I'm with you. I really, honest to God, I think something's happened to him, and I think he's like kicked back and freaking. He's probably kicked back at all. What's his name? That guy that's on trial, or that one that he killed himself, but his
Oh,
entire
oh, yeah,
Epstein.
yeah, Epstein.
He's
Yep.
probably kicked back on his island somewhere, and his little robots out here running around. But
For real. Dude,
um,
there's so much weird shit going on. Like,
oh
I don't
fuck,
know. I don't know if that's even something you want to talk about,
no,
but the
we can
whole
talk about
Epstein
anything.
thing, so freaking crazy. Like if you look at the answers that anybody that's been questioned about it, they're all like really clammy about it. Like if
Yeah,
you ask me a question, I'm just going to talk to you.
yeah.
But if you ask me a question and it sounds super rehearsed, some of these people are crazy, dude. I don't know. It's wild.
Well,
I'm excited to see what happens from
yeah.
this trial.
Well, see, and with that, it says I knew the guy was weird because Hollywood's, some of the women from Hollywood's the one that started all of this, because
Hmm.
the sexual harassment back when, between Twitch and Mixer and all that, and then
Yeah.
Hollywood came out with, I mean, it was just like everybody came out sitting there saying, well, this dude did this and this guy did this, and it was just kind of
Hmm.
crazy. But so that's where I left it. I just figured it was that. But
Yeah.
then I started hearing about all these big CEOs stepping down, from their positions, even though they said they had nothing to do with Epstein. But it's just like it's kind of
Yeah.
funny. All these big CEOs of these big Fortune 500 companies were stepping down, or
Dude, I saw that. Yeah.
uh,
Like what Jack Dorsey or whatever, he
yeah,
resigned the day after she went on trial.
yeah.
Kind of creepy.
And
There's a
everybody's
lot of
like,
weird stuff like that.
no, no, no. He's been planning on doing that for a while. I was like, no, dude, that's too coincidental. Come on, you
I
can't.
know.
It's
Yeah.
like you got
I'm
to get out of that little bubble and think that something else is possible.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I'm a very skeptic conspiracy theorist. Like I'm like, man, that would be crazy if that was real. I don't
Yeah.
think it is, but it'd be crazy if it was. And I would like, I don't know. So you never know. You never
No.
know. If there is some crazy shit going on, I definitely feel like there's some weird perverted stuff going on with some of
Oh,
these people for
yeah.
sure with him.
And
But
and
yeah.
and the thing is though, with the way the political and money talks. I don't care what you say,
Hmm.
money talks. Money
Yeah.
money controls the world. Period. Plain and simple.
Truth.
Um, so it's just like we're never gonna. I mean, the ones like us that really want to know what happened, we're never gonna know because
I
it's gonna
know.
be hidden. So
Hmm. Or it's going to be on some conspiracy podcast and everybody's going to be like, oh, that guy's crazy.
yeah,
But that's really what happened. And then we'll never know.
yeah,
Like, I don't know.
yeah.
It's wild. But stuff like that, man, we've been recently on our the Heck podcast, we've been doing like not necessarily conspiracy stuff, which I would love to do, but we've been doing a lot of like monster origins and
Yeah, I've
stuff,
seen that.
which kind of can get into that same, I guess, field. But that's what I love about this whole thing, man. You can do anything.
Yeah.
And it's freaking awesome.
And it's better than Metaverse because you can, even though we're not in our old reality, but you know, if you know, because 90% of people that go into streaming, they do it to get away from daily life and activity, you know, just to kind of unplug from out there, and then they get to come in here and be either a different person or be themselves. You know, so you know, because a lot of times when you're out there in the real world, you're not really yourself either. You've got to put on a fake facade to, you know, smile for the customers and all that good crap. But you know, so yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy. No, I'm a big into conspiracy theory. Did you hear? The reason why I brought that up is just like it's because you know they resealed the JFK files.
That's so sketchy. I was gonna say stupid, but I actually think it's more sketchy than anything. Like, what would be the point of sealing those up if the government didn't have some involvement?
No, I know. It's just like, and because the whole thing is you know, when they put that in place, is that the reason why they said 2021 is because they figured everybody that was involved with it was going to be dead anyways or too old to convict. You know, but now the funny thing is though, you know, some of the people we still have in office are, you know, older than dirt. And were around and were in offices at that time when that happened. So it's like, yeah, it's like, fuck that. Let's seal that shit. Or no, our names ain't coming out.
How sketchy is that? That is almost like a blatant admission of guilt. You know, they're like, oh, well, we thought everybody's going to be dead, but turns out they're not. We're going to reseal it for how long you guys think you got? 5, 10 more years? Just seal it up till then, guys. But I don't know, man. The Joe Rogan thing, like he posted a picture of the bullet or whatever. He was like, this has not been fired. Was that the actual bullet?
The magic bullet?
Yeah. That's the actual bullet?
Oh, that I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
yeah. It definitely didn't look fired, man.
No, the one that's in the the one that's in the evidence they found supposedly on the cart next to JFK's body, you know, when they were rolling it in. Yeah, that was supposed to be the magic bullet.
Oh my God. Well,
no, you know, yeah, you could even tell by a black and white picture that the damn thing had never been fired, you know?
Yeah. I guess people were just more gullible back then, or just more like they probably just trusted what media and the government told them a little bit more or something. But now I think we're just like raised to not. We're just like, nope, whatever you're saying, I don't believe it, but I'll do some research. And then I don't know. But yeah, the JFK thing is weird.
And you know, it's funny. Have you ever been to Dallas and went through Daily Plaza?
I haven't gone through that part. I have been to Dallas, but never been straight through there.
Oh my God! You know, when you watch it on Hollywood and even the Zapruder film and all that makes it look like it's just this big, huge open area.
Yeah.
Me and my wife went to Dallas for a cheer competition for my stepdaughter one time, and we were it's like, okay, we had a little bit of downtime. Let's go look around. So we were going to go through. You know, I go, well, let's go through Daily Plaza because she knows I like history, and we drove through that thing 3 times before we realized we were in it.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, where in the hell is this damn thing? And we keep seeing, you know, we drive and go across the Houston Bridge or underneath the whatever highway bridge that is right there. And it would sit there and say Daily Plaza back this way. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. So then finally we drove in and I just happened to look up and I go, well, hell, there's the book depository. We're in it. It's only like a half a block. You know, it's a triangle street, and each street's only like a half a block.
That's so weird to think that there's like that much history, first of all, in such a small space, but like it's been built up, because I always thought that it was huge and like the grassy knoll. I'm kind of like picturing some DC, like the Washington Monument, that huge field there. That's what I'm picturing, but it's not anywhere close to that.
Nope.
Dang. Nope. Okay.
Everything's basically, you could probably take a pea shooter and hit every building if you were good at it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Jeez. But well, there you go.
But yeah, so I mean, that I could see you know, after I got there, and it's like I'm looking up and it's like, okay, you know, the car drove down 11, you know, slowed down to 11 miles an hour. I can see one shooter doing all that really quick. You know, whether it was Lee Harvey or not, but you know, I could see one shooter doing that really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they were good, you know, and had a you know, a customized rifle back then.
Did they ever say like what his motivation would be? Like, did he ever say why he did it?
No,
He
no.
got, yeah, he got
Because
killed or
his
something.
last words were, "I'm a patsy," and then Jack Ruby came and shot him.
Jeez.
Shot.
So how's that for some damning evidence?
Jack Ruby shot him, and then it was like a few months later, or something like that. Jack Ruby disappeared. He died. It's just like everybody that was involved in that all died within, car wrecks or heart attacks or some type of illness supposedly they didn't know they had, and it's like,
yeah,
whatever.
Well, I got a controversial question then. Were the Clintons around in that time, or is that pre-Clinton? I don't know.
The Clinton family was around.
Oh, there you go. So they might have accidentally.
Yeah, they're all politically connected somehow. I mean, they are. And it's just like the Kennedys, Kennedy's dad, Joe, was a bootlegger. That's where he got,
that's what I heard.
That's where he got all of his family money from, was bootlegging.
Which, I mean, yeah, if you think about it, that seems like a man of the people right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Making a good, honest buck bootlegging.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's today. I mean, even though some states now, if if you like buy beer, like here in Oklahoma, because we're open till 2, most of our stuff's open till 2 a.m. People come across the the state lines to buy beer at the convenience stores, and they have convenience stores sitting right on state lines so that people do that, so they make their money.
Yeah.
But if you get caught going into the other state can charge you for bootlegging.
Oh, dang. Jeez.
But so bootlegging's still a thing, but but no.
Yeah.
It's no different than what prostitution or anything. I mean, that's the oldest. It's the oldest money making in history. Those two right there. Alcohol and prostitution.
Yeah, and like I live in Tennessee, so I still know a good bit of moonshiners here that make moonshine. And in fact, I think I have some. Yeah. I have some like apple pie moonshine, which is like this guy's winter mix. And dude, it is stupid strong. Like I'm one of those people that like if somebody's like, "Oh, you want to try this?" Just take a little bit because it's pretty stout. I feel like they're like challenging me, so I'll take a big old swig, dude. I did that with this one, and
oh no,
yeah, I was buzzed on it was not even a full mouthful, but I was pretty buzzed just off of that. So, but yeah, there's still moonshiners. Whenever I found that out, I was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago that I met a guy and he was like, "Oh yeah, here's some moonshine." I was like, "You made this?" So it's crazy.
Yeah, I got a guy at work that experiments with different flavors and different. He made a Jolly Rancher one. He melted down a bunch of Jolly Ranchers. And
nice.
It's like, oh my God, I go, never bring me any of that again.
That's my kind of chemist, dude. I'm just saying, I gotta, those kind of guys are revolutionary.
It was like really, really good. It's just like, no, I don't need no more.
Right.
Because I'll be like broke every week. It's like, okay, give me some more. Give me some. You'd be like my drug dealer, man. It's like, give me, I need it.
Dude, for real. Well, yeah, it helps for me at least that the guy that sells it has like almost all of his teeth are gone, and I'm like, all right, well, if I just keep down this road, I'm gonna be looking somewhere near where you're at. So I'm gonna hold off. But yeah, I got this one mason jar that's about this big, and I've only taken a couple of swigs off of it, but it's like, dude, it's really good. Tastes just like apple pie.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love those ones. I love the guy. Like I said, the stuff he comes up with is like, dude, you ought to do this for a living. You could go in and can just. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they would. I mean, I'm sure you could probably. I mean, everybody. I mean, it's just like no different than starting your own brewery and doing your own brewery. I mean, just you could just start your own. Just don't call it moonshine. Call it something else.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my brother actually is going to start up like his own mead. I don't know if it's going to be a brewery or what they would call like a small batch brewery, but he's been doing it with mead for a few years now, and like, man, it's really good. It's like a honey wine that the Vikings used to drink, but it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And whenever he first let me try it, I was like kind of like really hesitant because it looked kind of rough. He hadn't gone through the whole strainers and cheesecloth stuff yet, so it looked gross, but it was actually really good. And I don't know, man, I think that hopefully he'll end up getting that off the ground. I don't know.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, they're popping up there. I mean, between that and I don't know, does Tennessee have the medical marijuana?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We've got like CBD and the whole like Delta 8 stuff, which is pretty much exactly marijuana.
Yeah.
Like Delta 8 gummies, be very cautious going into those. I had a friend and he was like, "You want a gummy?" And we were watching some UFC fights, and by the end of the night, I'm like cackling to myself in the corner up here in my stream room. And my brother was like, "Are you coming down?" And I was like, "Send my regards to my wife. I'm staying up here." And yep, I just laughed my butt off for the rest of the night. So the Delta 8 gummies will get you. They'll get you pretty good.
But yeah, we have because we have the medical marijuana around it, and also chat. If you guys are listening, you want to chime in on any of this conversation, feel free to ask questions, put comments, whatever in chat. Feel free. It's open chat. So, but yeah, so we what was a year and a half ago they passed the medical marijuana for here in Oklahoma, and
oh yeah,
and it's like, oh my god, it's just like all the pot farms have like there's
yeah,
like pot farms everywhere. You know, and I'm in the building material industry. We take the lumber and stuff out. I think if it was not for the pot farms during the pandemic and the lockdowns, I think we would have struggled because we built
for real.
so many pot farms. You know, it's just like crazy.
That's pretty awesome, though. What type of work are you in? Like you said, the construction, but what do you all do exactly?
Oh, I work in a lumber yard. I'm actually the one of the heavy truck drivers. I'm the one that takes all the big loads out. I got the little forklift on the back and stuff like that. And
that's freaking awesome.
I really don't do nothing. You know, I drive around.
Every time I see one of those trucks, I think like Final Destination. I'm like, one of those logs is gonna get me. Yeah, it's gonna flop off. But like those things are built pretty awesomely. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
cool, man.
It's fun. Like I said, it's. I mean, I've been doing it for about 20 years now, so I'm ready to get out of it. But
there you go.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, it's just crazy. And with all the pandemic stuff that's happened and everything else, you know, the prices of material have gone up like 500%. The prices have started to come down now, but now there's no material. So it's just like, you know, so now that we've been struggling to find material to sell, and it's like crazy.
Yeah, well, like we just built like an addition on our back porch, so like off the stream room. This is like a second floor thing, and so used to whenever you walked out the door, there's just like a landing pad, like that's the size of our stairs or whatever, and then you just walk down the stairs. Well, I broke off the back little railing and stuff, and we extended the deck back there. But dude, it was so much more expensive. If I would have done this like 2 years ago, it probably would have been like maybe $1,000. It cost a lot more.
Yeah,
it was rough.
No, that's one thing too. That's one thing we're afraid of is because, you know, after the prices, you know, the prices went up, you know, like a sheet of OSB, which is like what they use for sheeting and stuff like that. The average price was about $11 a sheet. Well, last summer it jacked all the way up to $50 a sheet.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, and the funny thing is because, well, the building loans went down, or homeowner loans went down to under 2%. And so it's like everybody's like, okay, we got low more. You know, the bank was, you know, giving all this money out to these people, you know, so they said, okay, we're billed. Well, now it's catching up with them that they're running out of money because they don't, you know, they spent 90% of their loan on materials. Now they don't have enough money to finish the inside, or they don't have enough money to pay. You know, it's just crazy. I've seen so many houses just sitting around, you know, to where they had to stop on them. You know,
Nashville's like the building scene and just like the real estate industry in Nashville is just blowing up, and there's a lot of builders that got in too deep kind of in the start, and they're having to refinance or renegotiate pricings on houses. It's insane, man. And like I think that's something with COVID that a lot of people don't understand, but it's still trickling effects are still happening, even like if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, like all the effects of supply chain getting shut down, it just keeps trickling down, man. So like being forced to close and stuff is pretty rough.
Yeah. You know, it's just like when, you know, when the customers ask me, it's like, well, why are the prices so high? And it's just like, y'all shut the country down for 6 months. What'd you expect? That it was just going to fire right off right where it left off? No.
Nope. And so something I heard about in the lumber industry, and like in particular, whatever, is the fact that like the lumber mills had to close down for a while and shut down for all the COVID related stuff. And then people were at home now and they were also working on a lot of these home projects, so they were still buying a lot of stuff, and they pretty
Yep.
much bought out a lot of the supply. And even though there was like some back stock stuff, people just bought it all out.
Yep.
So like all these house packages, the lumber house packages, completely wiped out. And now I know some builders, like I'm in the construction industry too, kind of, quote unquote. I do like window treatments is my company.
Oh, okay.
And but yeah, there's a lot of houses that are like being pushed back closing dates even to like mid next year, just because they can't even get the lumber package for that house yet, because it's crazy. It's freaking nuts, man.
Yeah, we've got one of those that they build the cookie cutter houses. You know, they buy a lot and they throw up 300 houses in a neighborhood. And,
Oh yeah, yep.
Well, we did like the finishing touches. Like the trim packages and stuff like that for the outside of the house and stuff. And
yeah,
because we're not big enough or have enough capacity to do that many houses, and because they did like 15, 20 houses in a year. And that we wouldn't be. That's all we'd done. That's all we'd be able to do was just build packages for that.
Yeah.
But they told us that as soon as they were done with their whatever they had contracted out at the beginning of the year to finish by this year, that's all they were doing until things started balancing out to where they'd start making money, because they're going in with these. They're going in with these packages. They're contracted, like say they got contracted for 200 and some thousand on one house. And then the prices went up in materials, so that means the price went up in the house.
Yeah.
Well, but they're contracted for that 200,000. The price of the house just to frame it cost almost 300,000.
Yeah.
So it's just like now that they're losing too much money, so it's just like we can't do this anymore. So whatever we're contracted for, we're not signing any more contracts until after it all fizzles out.
Yeah, that's a lot of where we're at too. Like I work with a lot of the builders or whatever. We're like their go-to vendor for like blinds and stuff. And now like it went from, we get from like just one builder or whatever, we get like 20 jobs in a month or something like that normally. And it went from that to 1 month it just completely stopped. And I was like, hey, what's up? You guys gonna order something? And they're like, we're doing only I can't remember what they're called, like spec homes.
Yeah.
So they're only doing stuff that's already been sold and are like already built out and stuff, and they're not doing like additional add-on things like blinds, for instance. But yeah, it's crazy, man. And I really hope that I hope they get their stuff figured out. I feel like if we weren't necessarily afraid of like treatments and stuff like that beyond just necessarily like getting the vaccine, because like my wife and I both, it's not necessarily that I'm one way or the other with it. Really, I honestly don't care. But yeah, and so she's in the nursing industry, so she was kind of like forced to get the vaccine. And whenever she was kind of scared to get it. And I was like, you know what? If you're going down, I'm going down with you. So we both got the vaccine. A person in her nursing class had the vaccine, and then we both got COVID from this girl that had the vaccine already. So like all of us ended up getting COVID, and I was like, what's the point? So I think if they had some type of a treatment that you could, that would really help you bounce back. Like my mom right now actually has COVID, and she also had the vaccine last a few months back, maybe like 8 or 9 months. And so I don't know, but they're, like for her right now, I can just be like, hey, go take some vitamin C, and drink a lot of water and get a lot of sleep. Yeah. But there's not really any like hope for them, man, So hopefully they come out with something that you can just take something and figure yourself.
And a lot of people, and I think, all the back and forth, all the diversity that's going on right now with that. I think the ones that are, bad mouthing all the non-vaxxers, I guess is what we're called now, because I won't get it because I've never gotten the flu shot. I've never gotten the flu.
I don't blame you, man. Yeah.
I feel that if I was susceptible to getting that kind of stuff, I'd probably think twice about it. But I'm not, because I'm constantly, well, for one, I'm constantly outside. I'm constantly on the move. So my body never really has, it's constantly rejuvenating or whatever, so it really never has a time to like sit there and say, okay, I'm going to get sick, and plus it's all a mental, sometimes it's a mental thing too. It's just like, if that's what you're programmed to do basically since day one, that you've been able to do it is work, and you have to do it and you need to do it, it just, I think your mind, because I'm a firm believer it's mind over body, your mind takes,
I totally agree.
you know. So, but you know, and you got the media sitting there downplaying those that I'm not saying they're weak minded, but they're susceptible to manipulation, and because
Yeah.
it's just because I have a psych degree, and it's just that's just part of the way the mind works. It's like you've got two sides. You got the sides that can't be, you know, um, turned around or whatever. You know, they have a hard standing on what they're going to do, and you have the ones that are
Yeah.
reliant on others to tell them what to do. It's just something that's, you know, that it's a checks and balance type thing. I mean,
Yeah.
if we had an entire race of one and not the other, there would be chaos. So
Yeah, I totally agree. And honestly, like, yeah, I would say I'm more in the whole like I wish I didn't get the vaccine because I'm afraid of like what all side effects, and I'm more afraid of the side effects than I was of getting COVID. Because for me, it's like I run all the time. I'm a very active person. I take a lot of multivitamins and stuff. I'm overall pretty healthy person. And like you said, I don't really get the flu shot, and I really rarely ever get the flu. And if I do,
yeah,
it's like a 3-day thing. And I'm
yeah,
like, all right, we're gonna be down for a little while. It's like a mini vacation.
yeah, exactly.
So, so like, but I'll tell you this. I will say this. Whenever I got COVID, it was like a stop working for free card because working in construction, it was the entire time I was in like everybody was in lockdown and stuff. I didn't get to experience any of that. Like there was no like,
Yeah, me neither.
here government pay for like you to do nothing. You know, I didn't get any of that. Like, yeah, like you didn't get it either. So whenever I got COVID, I was finally like, you know what? I'm not getting out of the house. And so, yeah, it was like, I don't know. It was kind of like some of my symptoms sucked, but after I like, I don't know, once I finally came to terms with like, just let yourself just chill for a little while, it was kind of nice to just Netflix and chill for
Yeah.
a couple of days, you know?
Yeah, see, yeah,
So,
we run the same thing. It's just like, you know, when the first, you know, before they, you know, tagged the essential workers, you know, everybody was supposed to lock down.
yeah.
But then they come around and sit there and said, well, you know, construction was essential as long as it was like, I think in our area, I think they made it to like already existing projects going on, and anything that had to do with building of schools and medical facilities,
Yeah.
those could continue and do what they were doing. But you know, if it's like a new project, you had to put it on hold until you know everything done or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we had all planned out. You know, they got my company got that loan, you know, to help pay for the you know the employees being down if we were shut down.
It's like the PPP loan or whatever.
Yeah,
I
and
ended up getting one of those from my company too.
yeah, I mean, I mean, it's out there. I mean, because it's not our fault that we had to shut down. But yeah, so
Yeah.
they had us planned on. They had us done for 3 months. They put us on a rotating schedule. We'd work 2 weeks. You know, we were like alternating throughout the week, so we weren't all there at the same time. But
Yeah.
it was supposed to be like 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks on, 1 week off for you know everybody in their rotating schedule. I got 1 week. I got 1 week
Oh,
off out of
dang.
that whole thing, and then they made us all essential. It's like, God damn
Yeah.
it.
Just let me rest.
I don't get vacations anyways, and this was my vacation.
Yeah.
Because you
No
couldn't go
joke,
do
man.
nothing because everything was closed. So it's like,
It was rough, dude, because like my daughter's school shut down. So like both of them were out of school and they were in the whole like hybrid, but it was just mainly online class. So like none of their teachers were trained for this, by the way. So whenever they were like, oh yeah, we're going back to school, but it's gonna be online. I met one of my daughter's previous year teachers in like a Kroger or something like that. And I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? She was like, I am so unprepared. They haven't told us anything.
yep.
And it starts next week. I was like, dear God. So like that was a precedent. Like it set the tone for the entire rest of like that first half of the year. Me and Jody both had to keep working. She was a nurse and I'm in construction. So like neither one of us were able to stop working. And both of the girls had no school, no daycare. So it was rough, man. Like both my daughters are, they were 9 and 10 at the time. So it was just like, I don't know, man. It was a rough one, dude. But I'm glad we're kind of hopefully out of the woodwork. And I hope that we don't end up going back into another lockdown. I know that there's some countries out there that are doing it, but man, I think
I
that
mean,
we just need to.
I mean, look at all the other ones we survived. You know, we survived the
Mm-hmm.
Spanish flu. We survived, you know, all the other little
Yeah.
ones that came in between.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's you know, still to the day, you know, the Spanish flu took out more people than this did, but you know, because they didn't
Yeah.
have the, you know, they didn't have the technology we do now to try to control it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, and I'm sure you know, and there's conspiracy theories about you know behind all of this. It was all you know, because you know, I believe that most of it was political. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I
because
agree.
it's kind of you know, just like you said about the you know, the Kennedy. You know, do you think we're stupid that you're gonna you know everything's happening and this is just gonna get shut down? Or, you know, all this
Yeah.
happening, and then you turn around and it's supposed to be it's the major you know one of the major elections of the entire you know 50 years
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
so, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's
There
crazy.
was some craziness going on with that, man. Yeah, for real. And
But
like, yeah, I think there's I don't really normally watch this dude, but Trevor Noah recently just went off script a little bit. And I don't know if you saw that, but he said something along the lines of like they're trying to come out with a new vaccine just for the newer I can't remember what the
oh, the
Macron or
Omnicore or something,
yeah,
Omnicore or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah. Probably some business's name.
yeah.
But but they're trying to come out with like a new vaccine for it. Pfizer's trying to come out with a new
Oh,
vaccine
yeah.
for specifically that one. And they're like, and he said something along the lines of like, they seem very unbiased that Pfizer's telling us that they have to make a new vaccine for this new strand. Just I don't know, man. It's crazy. I
well,
just
well,
I wish that,
somebody posted
mm-hmm,
on TikTok the other day. Speaking of Pfizer, is just like somebody went through all the news, you know, all their local news, like or in national news.
mm-hmm.
You know, they posted like a quick clip of their beginning intros of everything, and there was like
Oh
10 of them. They were all
yeah,
sponsored by Pfizer.
sponsored by Pfizer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brought to
man.
you by Pfizer. It's
Mm-hmm.
like what the fuck?
I just wish that people weren't so like anybody that even questions Pfizer now or like the vaccine or anything. And like I said, I mean, I've had the vaccine and people call me like anti-vaxxer and all this stuff. It's not even that. I just wish that people were more open-minded to like if Jody wasn't forced to get it, I would have not gotten it
Yeah,
100%. But my wife was freaked out and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get my arm stuck at the same time you do and we'll freaking go down together
yeah.
if we're
Hey,
going down. So like, and I am like more freaked out for sure than of the side effects of this than I am any of the stuff that I got while I had COVID. Like that was a
yeah,
rough cold for sure, but I wasn't afraid I was gonna die or anything the
yeah.
entire time, you know. So but
But mm,
I
it,
think like if you speak out and say anything like slightly negative or just questioning it in the least bit, people are like very quick to just hate on you, you know?
oh,
And
oh yeah. Oh, you know, when all this, you know, when the shutdown started, you know, and
mm,
Walmart, I sit there, you know, because before Walmart did it, they announced that it was like on a
mm,
Wednesday. They sit there and say, come Monday, you know, all of our stores are going to be mandatory masks and all of this before you can enter and blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
I just happened to get on the Walmart Twitter, you know, just to kind of
Mm-hmm.
see what was going
Oh
on
God.
there. And I got
Yeah.
on there and I sit there and I go, okay, so if this is such a real thing and if it's such a mandatory, you know, if it's such a drastic thing that's going to take us all down if we don't do it, why are you
Yeah.
waiting till Monday to implement the mask mandates? Oh
For
my
real.
God, I got called racist. I got called
Oh my
everything you
gosh.
possibly could think of.
Yeah.
My Twitter feed was hopping for like 3.5 hours straight.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Man,
what? I was just asking a question.
for real. And that's what I like. It's one big thing that I'm really starting to not like about just kind of like the current climate of at least America. I don't know if it's like this everywhere else, but like in America in particular, if you're inquisitive of the narrative of either side right now, just somebody's just going to hate on you for it.
Oh
And
yeah.
genuinely, like, people ask me, you know, I mean, in here, I'm like, I'd be considered like growing up at least I was conservative, you know,
Mhm.
and I'd still say that I'm closer to that as far as like idol ideologically. I
Yeah.
guess I'm more of like a center of the road type political person. I've got guns in my stream room. I'm like a pro guns,
Yeah.
pro so and then also just pro freedom of speech and like I feel like everybody should be able to like do what they want to without a lot of government interference. But it's weird that I'm like, even I never talk about that, by the way, on my stream. I never talk about politics because I've just
Oh
even
yeah.
saying one time, I have a friend that's a streamer. and she came into my chat. Her name's CJ. I think it's awesome. Not only is she a streamer, she's a police officer. She's a female police officer. She's part of the LGBTQ community. And she's like all these different things that normally you would not look at, like, oh, this is a police officer, but she's like a ton of different things.
Yeah.
And so she came into my stream, and it was around the same time as all these like riots that were happening. And I was like, I just wanted to, so I like stopped doing what I was doing. I was like, I just wanted to take a moment to say, like, I'm very proud of you for like graduating. She graduated the academy, I think is what it was. And I was like, I'm really proud of you. I'm stoked for you. And I think it's awesome that you're doing what you're doing, because it's really like honorable that you're doing that, especially in this time right now.
Yeah.
And it was wild, man. I got a lot of people that sent messages, like hateful messages to me, just for saying that I thought it was cool that she was doing that. And I was like, y'all do realize that half the things you're saying about me right now are completely debunked by the person that she is. I was like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't either.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like I said, my Twitter on that one comment. It was just one comment. I never even replied to any of them. I just left that one comment. And my Twitter feed was ding. I literally had to shut my notifications off on my Twitter because it was like for almost 2.5, 3 hours straight, just ding, 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 ding.
It's like, crazy, man.
But
I just asked a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't kill the messenger.
But no, and I think that's, that's one thing. I think it's one thing people don't understand is that it's not the fact that we're against the vaccine or we're against whatever, because the ones that are unvaxxed, and I'm sure I'm probably speaking for a lot of them, is the ones that are, don't get the vaccine. We're not rebelling about getting the poke or the jab or whatever it's called. It's the fact that if we don't want it, why should it matter? I mean, if it works for you, fine.
Yeah.
If it works for you, then that's your, that's your God-given right of doing what you want to do. But you're taking away our God-given right to do what we want to do by forcing us to do it. That is what's happening, is that they're not understanding. They're coming up with their own philosophy of why we're against this. And it's like, no, we're just standing up for what you guys are standing up for, but just on the opposite side, Yeah. It's not the fact that we don't, it's not the fact that we don't want it or don't need it. It's the fact that if we don't want it, we shouldn't have to have it,
Yeah. And imagine, like, dude, honestly, I did not want it at all. I was literally freaking forced to do it. I mean, I wasn't personally, but my wife was for sure, for fear of losing her job if she didn't get it. She works for Vanderbilt. They were like, if you don't get this by this date, you're fired. Yeah. So, it literally was. Some people are like, oh, it's not mandated. It's not mandated. It definitely is in a lot of places.
Yeah,
and it should be a choice. Like, I agree with what you're saying. I think that whichever side of the political spectrum that people fall on, I think that something they should commonly agree with is being able to, like, have freedom of some kind, freedom of speech, freedom of your own body within a certain realm. And a lot of the people are saying that, like, like pro-choice on the vaccine, for instance, which I think that is a funny term to use. But people that are like pro-choice on the vaccine, they're saying that it's like infringing on other people's like freedoms, saying that, like, if you don't get the vaccine, you can give it to all these people. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm with those ones. It's like, okay, if you believe so much in the vaccine, if you got the vaccation, and you're one of those people, why would it matter if we're wearing our masks, or if we're, I mean, if you're wearing your mask and it's mentally
and
making
you're vaccinated,
so you're protected, right? I mean, that's what people are trying. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're trying to get across. It's like, you're protected. So why does it matter if we're not? I mean, if you're if you're 100% in belief of what you've done with the masks and the vaccines, then we should not be a threat to you.
Yeah. I was in a person's stream the other day, and it's the guy I actually looked up to, and he was like, he was going off about somebody. It was in like a Costco or something like that, and he was like, I'm gonna write a message to their owner and be like, all right, well, then I can just come in here with a gun and shoot everybody if you can come in here unmasked. I was like, dude, how do you draw those correlations? Like, how does that line go from one to the other it doesn't make any sense that people think that way. And I'm like, dude, it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm just gonna hop on out of your stream for a little while, because I don't know. I don't get how people see like those connections like that. It really doesn't make sense, and especially when it's just a choice, man.
You know, it's just like I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day. It's just like, you know, if you really, really think about it, like I said, like I do have a philosophical mind, and like I said, and a psychological. You know, I'm always wondering how things work and stuff. I mean, I've been tearing apart things since I was a kid, so
yeah,
it's just like just trying to figure out why things work and why people think the way they think. You know, and hopefully one of these days I'll realize that why I forget shit that I'm trying to say down the road. But
me too.
No, we were talking about crap. See, it's one of those things that just kind of went.
Nice. But yeah, you're saying like you've got like a very psychological mindset on things and trying to think of how people think. But yeah,
but
I agree with that.
But yeah, that just drives me crazy. I mean, it's just like right there in the back of my mind, but my mind says, no, you're not gonna say it. You're not gonna say it. And then about halfway before, it's like, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But no, it's just like, fuck, that just drives me crazy.
Dude, it happens to me. It happened to me on a podcast the other day. I was trying to talk to. It was like a musician that I've looked up to since I was in like high school, and I was like stumbling on what I was trying to ask him, and he was like, "I think you're trying to ask me this," and then he just took it and went. And I was like, "Yes!" He freaking owned it, dude. It was so good, man. He freaking. It was like the cleanest save. You could tell he'd done it a few times.
Yeah. We'll come back to what I was trying to say later, but you know, it's just, like I said, it'll pop. I'll be half asleep and wake up, and it's like, oh, that's what it is. But,
dude, nice. Just pull the stream back up, and you can ask me.
Yeah, I'll just add it into the YouTube video since with all that catastrophe, the YouTube's not going. I don't think the YouTube's live right now, but. But no, yeah, it's just crazy what people think. I mean, it's just totally nuts. I mean, yeah. Oh, I know what it was about the media. See, I told you to think about it sooner or later.
Yes.
With all the, you know, if you think about it, if you really, really think about it and deep think about it, with all the cell phone technology, you know, everybody takes videos of every shooting that happens. Apparently, you know, there's somebody on every corner, but they never saw anything, but they have a video of it. That gets posted on social media 5 days later.
Yes. God, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
But you know, with the fact that the technology we have with the high quality, you know, every cell phone camera is better than any camera that you can buy for stream. You know, the high resolution cameras you buy for streaming. A cell phone camera is like 5 times better than that, so it picks up every little detail. We don't need the media. You know, because with what we're doing with the influencers, with podcasts, with talk shows, with streaming, you know, things like Joe Rogan does, things like the Crowder Report does, you know, and stuff like that. Why? I mean, we do not need mainstream media no more.
It's very true, man. And I think that they're starting to realize that. Like, I saw something the other day. It goes to show the state of our current news. Like, you know, I can't remember what they call it, but like the daily news is a thing where like that was like the 24-hour news cycle or something. It was like a really big thing, and you had to be like kind of on the pulse of it. Well, like Twitter, like you said, Joe Rogan, freaking Crowder, like all these different people are really actually doing a better job than if you turn on CNN or Fox or whoever you watch, doing a way better job and at least a less biased job. It seems like a more genuine take on what's actually happening, because now we can find out more or less, like you said, with all the cameras and stuff going on, we can see the unbiased actual thing that happened most likely. And then we get to choose who we listen to as far as like what side of the, you know, the pendulum that we want to listen to on what actually happened or their take on it. But we get to see it now, and I think that's a really cool thing. Whereas before, like, I mean, I remember whenever I was in like grade school and I saw the Twin Towers come down. So like I remember visually seeing that part and just being like shook and be like, oh my God, just being in that moment. But everything that happened after that was like a controlled thing. You only got to see so much actually happening. Like what happened behind the scenes, we don't really know. And now it's kind of a lot different, you know, like especially like that, the Afghanistan pullout, whenever we pulled out of Afghanistan, guarantee you, we would have never seen some of the stuff on the news that we saw on Twitter.
Oh no.
Like the people that were like running on the airport, holding onto the freaking plane wing, like the wings of the plane. Probably never would have saw that, you know? But because it didn't look good. It didn't look good at all for anybody. And it was, but we got to see that. And I think it's like a blessing and a curse now. It's almost like you can't hide from Big Brother in a sense, but it's, you know, I guess like you also get a little bit more filled in with what's actually happening in the world. So it's probably a good and bad thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like with the whole, you know, when the whole thing went down with COVID, you know, they were sitting there saying that hospitals were overrun, you know, and all those, you know, those two nurses in New York City, because New York City was like the epicenter, you know, that their hospitals were being you know, they had to push people away and stuff like that. And then you had these nurses going around two of the major hospitals with their phone, videotaping empty beds and empty hallways, and they would post it on Twitter, and an hour later it would be gone, you know, and they'd repost it and it'd be gone. You know, they started reposting on other places and it would be gone.
That's what's scary, though, is the fact that like now a lot of these free speech places are completely politicized, and it's kind of horrible.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I was listening to, but like they were talking about that recently, like how Twitter, and with Dorsey leaving and stuff, they're like, you know, Twitter's pretty much came in, it became what it rebelled against in the first stages of Twitter. Twitter was like a really big open forum, open communication thing, kind of like the Wild West.
Yeah.
And then now it's just kind of more or less turned into a political puppet almost in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, talk about that, you know, talking about Facebook again, you know, it's, you know, I don't know if you've ever put the two and two together, but have you ever heard of DARPA? It's the research program the government has on human relations and stuff like that. Well, it's just kind of funny because, you know, somebody brought this to my attention, and I was watching some, and the YouTube video started popping up here, like in the when they started talking about Meta, right before Meta. But there was some YouTubes popping up about how this DARPA started a thing called what they called LifeLog, LOG. Basically what it would do is it would track our internet browsing history and stuff like that, and it would compile, you know, each one of us had a file, you know, and it would compile an electronic file of what we searched, how we searched, how long we searched, you know, what we, you know, stuff like that, just kind of an experimental. Well, the life log that DARPA started ended mid-January, and then February 4th of the same year is when Facebook went live.
Oh, dude, I think I saw that. Yeah, I'd heard that somewhere. I can't remember where I saw that at.
And Facebook does the exact same thing as LifeLog does. You know, they take your internet browser history, you know, what you, you know, because, you know, because it's all, you know, the internet's connected no matter what, no matter how anybody wants to put it, but the internet is connected by one big strand. I mean, it's impossible not to have it. You know, so, you know, because Google, I mean,
it's terrifying, man.
You know, because like I said, me and you could be in the same room and we could get on totally clean phones, and you could search one thing and I could search one thing, and then you go home on your browser that is connected to your account, and it will pop ads up for everything that you searched for.
Which is creepy. There's been some times that I've literally just been like, I think I'm going to go grab some Colgate or something like that, you know, something really random. And then like, I'll get a Colgate commercial. And you know what? Like this one trolled me. I feel like sometimes you get trolled by these things, but Google Fi commercials were the like bane of my existence for like a whole solid 2 months. Anytime I would get on a YouTube video, that would be the ad, and I couldn't skip it. I'd thumbs down it. I'd report it for harassment. Like, dude, I just kept getting the same freaking song. It's like, goodbye, random calls and blockers. It's, dude, worst song. And there's so many people that have apparently never heard it, but I'm telling you, man, it's because they were listening to me complain about it, and they just heard me say Google Fi, and then getting all the commercials.
Well, I don't know about Android, but like on the Apple phones, the last update they had, if you they have a section that is called speaker. It's in the like the deal. It's a live listen. So you can like
Oh
lay
God.
your phone down in one room, and if you have earbuds or whatever, you can click that on and connect your earbuds and go into the other room and listen to what's going on in that room off of your phone.
Tell me that's not creepy. That is terrifying, actually. And I don't know, man. I feel like spies, their work is a lot easier now, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because all you have to do is drop this phone, in somebody's pocket, turn that on and then walk off, you
Yeah.
know, and especially with the way Bluetooth is increasing its range nowadays, you could be
Mm-hmm.
or you could even connect, anything that is, because it says right here, it says connect a compatible audio device to use live listen.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Dude, it's so creepy. It's so creepy.
but yeah,
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know really where all this is heading to. Like the metaverse, all the surveillance, it seems like did you ever watch that movie Wall-E?
yes,
I think we might be heading to that,
yep,
where we're just going to be these people in these chairs just trying to like coast through it and just be like, and I don't know what the benefit of that would be for anybody, but I feel like that's where we're
compliancy.
going to. Yeah. Well,
Everybody's going
yeah,
to be
exactly.
compliant.
And that's kind of, I think, a lot of this stuff, like we were talking about, people like if you question anything almost nowadays, like if you're questioning stuff, you're almost like a nuisance,
Yeah,
and you get canceled, you get out for questioning stuff. And it's like you said, compliance is probably like the biggest, motivation behind all that stuff.
yeah.
It's kind of scary, man. And I wish more people thought like that, like, geez.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You got the two kinds. You got the ones that that have the mentality to, like I said, I'm not calling them weak minded. It's just something in their
Mm-hmm.
DNA and in their wiring that there's leaders and there's followers. Those are the only two.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only two. There's leaders and followers.
Yeah.
And the followers are the ones that what's going on right now that everybody's counting on, but they're finding out
Mm-hmm.
that there's more leaders and they're coming against this big hard wall of these big all these leaders that
Yeah.
are waking up, even the ones that were like asleep. We had sleepers that are
Mm-hmm.
now starting to wake up, and it's like, oh no, we got, this can't happen. This is a, I don't care who you are and where you are or how old you are watching this. If you ever do watch this,
Mm-hmm.
you need to just do your research and do it quick because history is slowly erasing itself.
Dude, yeah, that's the truth.
And
That's a scary truth.
so do get on there and do your research before the history of the last 20 years. I mean, the last 20 years is a big history, compare. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's, the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s were a big history, changing for what we grew up to. But what
Yeah.
everybody else is growing up to now, I'm going to say probably from, my stepdaughter, she's like 14, 13, getting ready to
Mm-hmm.
turn 14. And anybody from that age on up, and they're going, or that age on down, they're going to be the ones that are going to be where we are now,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure this out. But if if you don't start reading your history or start trying to save some of the history, they're not going
Yeah.
to know what's going on prior to what is happening right now.
Yeah. And I think even too, like just people in current affairs that are happening right now, like any kind of current situation that's happening, people need to do more research and not just blindly like believe the
Yeah.
first headline that they read, read the article. It's a
Yeah.
big thing because clickbait is dangerous and it's
Yeah.
all over the place, man. Like, I don't know. I've gotten into where now, like, if I see something trending on Twitter, I'm like, all right, let me look into it. And then I'll read the actual article or I'll read some
Yeah.
stuff and be like, this was complete BS. How is this trending on Twitter? And
Yep.
then you'll look through the Twitter feed of all these people that are using this hashtag and it's just like they're completely incorrect. And you're like,
Yep.
but it's like I think the trending on Twitter is a good tool for you to look into seeing stuff that's currently happening, but you cannot just go through there and see what
No.
everybody's saying about it. You got to read like the source.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just like no difference. Even with content creating and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
clickbait is a big thing with content creating because that's how you
Yeah.
get people, just what we were talking about. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you get people to click on your content is by putting something up. It's just like
Yeah.
we tested something with our little unfiltered podcast we do on Saturday nights. It's like
Mm-hmm.
we made a banner up and everything else that said like 3 hot guys talking edgy, and
Yeah. Yeah.
then in the description it's just like 3 hot guys talking about today's stuff, but But it's just like, because YouTube's one of those places that you've got to find out what their algorithm is that catches, to get you promoted.
Yeah.
And it's just like everything else. The media, it's yellow journalism. Even though yellow journalism's outlawed, they teeter on that little fine line of yellow journalism to where they're not really lying about what they say in the title, but it's not 100% true either.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, I'm telling you. And the times that I've been clickbaited, I think just being so stubborn and just annoyed by being clickbaited so much, that's when I started being like, all right, I'm gonna like pay more attention to what's going on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a powerful tool though. It definitely is. There's a guy, Destructive Gaming, that is like doing really good on YouTube, and then MGTV. They're both like, I kind of get on and talk to those guys a lot, and they're like, dude, it's all about the title and description and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true, man.
Yeah, we live in a clickbait generation.
That and really good thumbnails. I've learned that one's a good one too. I've been practicing harnessing the abilities on that one.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's fun, man.
So what? I know you're probably getting ready to need to get off of here or something like that. But just real quick, what do you have plans for the future? I mean, what are your future plans for? I know you're part of GG's TV, because you and Panda put that together, didn't you?
Well, so he already kind of had it set up. Well, I mean, he already had it fully set up. He is completely the brains behind it, and he's got me on as kind of started out as like a creative director, and that was like just a fancy title for me and him would like brainstorm a lot, and now it's turned into the COO. So I'm like Chief Operation Officer, and another again fancy title, but I really just try to come up with like implement a lot of things. He's really busy right now, like coding the new app. He's making a native app for GG's, and dude, it's looking so good. But it's cool being able to like, I'm a really visual person, and we're talking about like what are some things that we'd like to see in a new app, and I don't really want to give like too much away, but there is something that we're doing that, if like, I got the inspiration from my phone. There's a thing you can do on your phone, and I was like, dude, if we could do this on the app instead, it would be so cool. So there's some really neat feature that I like took a screenshot of the app and like kind of like did a Snapchat drawing of what I wanted it to look like, and dude, he's taken that and made the app around it, and it looks so cool. So I guess COO is like really just a fancy term right now, but I'm trying to getting all this stuff in order, sponsors and stuff like that, and like tournaments and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of stuff with the website going on. We're doing a lot more tournaments. We've got a new tournament director coming on and a tournament promoter. Nice. So the tournament director is actually a Rickett or Brian. He's been on for a while. He's still staying in the tournament director spot, but we now have a promoter for the tournaments. So those are going to be a lot bigger scaled tournaments, hopefully a lot more like varieties of games. And then Brian's still going to like do the behind the scenes and just making sure that it's all running smooth.
Yep. Nice.
So we've got those going on, and then the new app, and then just me personally, man, I've got like doing a lot more on the podcast side of things. Going to be doing a lot of the Heck podcast. We've got like, we're making a lot of really funny fake commercials.
Nice.
So a lot of funny, stupid fake products that we've came up with, and then we're doing a lot of like short videos and stuff. So pretty excited about all that. Getting to flex the creative muscle.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. And so if you start seeing me say I'm sponsored by some ridiculous sounding product, just watch the video. Don't buy in the clickbait. It's just me being funny.
Sponsored by.
Yeah, man, we've got some really dumb ones. I'm telling you, like, I cannot wait for people to see some of the videos that we've got. Like, and my wife is really, I don't know why she has all these, but she's got like a ton of wigs. And so like, you'll see me like dressed up, like just ridiculous stuff going on. So
see, that's what I meant. Everything. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you guys listening or watching this, if you guys have not caught any of his stuff on his stream, go catch it, because he just doesn't do gameplay, and he takes care of his chat over his gameplay.
Yeah,
So that's
one of
the reasons why I love going into his stream is because I can pop in and say hey, and he's like he'll start playing the game and just go to full screen and say hey, and just start talking to everybody. I'm like
yeah,
and that's what a content creator should be. I mean, yeah, you've got the ones that are gamers, like the ninjas, the shrouds, and all that, but the new generation of viewer, I don't think they're like into gaming as much as our generations have been, and the generations in between us. But I think they're more of like this. They want to see what's going on in people's lives, because everybody's nosy. I don't care what you say. Everybody has a nosy bone in their body. But yeah, so that's the reason why I started these creator talks. So I could just kind of like bring personal conversations, and stuff like that. It's just not an interview. Because I've been to interviews and they scare the shit out of me. I do not interview for jobs at all well. So I've been lucky about the jobs that I have had. I haven't had it gone through an interview. But no, it's just like, his stuff is like top notch. So if you guys ever get a chance to go watch him, it's just great. But
heck yeah, man. Thank you very much. And I love this platform that you've got set up, dude. Like looking at the intro that you had with all the different people that you've had on, the content creators, it's freaking awesome, dude. Nice. And it's cool that you're spotlighting so many of these people.
Well, yeah, and that was my whole focus about, because I'm kind of like in the same predicament, like the same mindset you guys are, and like Get Wet is. I'm really heavily involved with Get Wet, and I try to promote them as much as possible, and they've helped me as much as possible too. They promoted our last tournament that we had, our first event that we had. You made it.
What up, dude?
But
that's awesome though. Yeah, Get Wet's freaking. I love those guys, and the owner of Get Wet, he has such a business mind. It is insane. Like, he's so smart.
Yeah.
Don't tell him I said that, please.
I've never actually met him I've never talked to him other than we DM quite a bit, but that's about it. He's pretty on top of it. If he can do it, he'll do it. If he can, he can. If not, he'll try to find some way to fill my request if I have one. So, but no, and that's kind of what this, what I wanted this here. That's why I'm glad I found you guys. I found GG's. I found Get Wet. There's another one out there called Expand. That's kind of like similar to GG's. But all of those, and I like the fact that you guys, the GG's and the Expand, they both have basically a no tolerance policy when it comes to link dropping, only using it basically for follow, because I don't care where you are. I did it when I first started streaming. It does not work. Follow does not work.
Yeah, it really doesn't, man.
So, and that's why I started this here, because it's like I was wanting to get the creators on, like you guys, to be able to tell your stories the way you want to tell it, not just by, the way everybody perceives them, when you guys are online or live or whatever. So, so I've been really blessed that like you said, like we talked before, that, everybody that you've asked, you really haven't had a hard no. You've had, we'll see, and things like that. I've never had a hard no. It's just like, no, I've had people say, it's like, no, this is the wrong time, get with me back, in a few months or something like that. But yeah, so it's crazy. No, so
I've been having fun. Like, I think one thing that I really enjoy about doing the podcast thing is, for me, I've been shooting a lot high. Like, I guess it's one of those shoot for the moon, you'll end up in the stars type thing.
Yeah.
And I've been like, there's no ceiling for who I'm going to send a message to. Like, legitimately, if I was like, dude, in an easy ballpark, like 50 people that I've sent DMs to, you'd be like, you're so stupid. Why would you send, like, dude, I've got what's the guy's name? Freaking, oh my God. He's like one of the first whistleblowers. He's like the biggest whistleblower of all time. I can't remember. Why can't I think of his name?
Yeah.
Take it. Well, I'll think about it, and then I'll call you at 2 o'clock in the morning. But no, man. I mean, I'm sending everybody I can think of a DM that I'd be interested in talking to, and I've been like But the cool thing about that is, I grew up listening to a lot of musicians that really inspired me, like lyrically. I'm one of those people that like reads the lyrics to all the songs, you know. And so I've been able to talk to a lot of the people that I grew up reading their lyrics and like their message and just really like kind of embracing their stories and stuff. And like I think that a lot of those songs that I listened to and their style kind of help create my personality. And it's been cool to be able to talk to those people now. Like that's a big thing that I like about technology nowadays. You can just like you can message them, and if you get that response back from them, it's like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
You're like jumping really for cool. Joy, and
yeah. It's so wild, man. So I don't know. I'm really digging that aspect of it. And you asked what I had in the future coming up. Like the next week, I've got like double podcasts because we didn't do one this week because I'm stupid with scheduling. But the starting up next year is going to be like the biggest podcast guest that I've ever had on. I've got two like ridiculously big guests that I'm like nervous about, and actually doing like a pre-podcast, like a walkthrough of what I'm going to ask them. Like, nice. It's I'm excited and nervous, but I'm excited about the growth that I'm seeing and stuff. Yeah. Like we've got there's an author named Scott Sigler that we've got coming on, and I've been reading his book since I was like in high school. And then we've got a musician coming on named Jelly Roll that's like pretty big in like the music industry.
Yep,
and he's actually stuff. Yeah, he's a local guy here too. So like it's cool to be able to talk to those people as well, and just I don't know.
Yeah, because he has the blonde wife that everybody calls a gold digger or something like that.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, dude, it's I don't know, man. It's so wild. It's so crazy. I actually I grew up with his drummer / now he's his guitarist Casey, and I used to play in bands, and we would like play shows together. Like his bands would play shows with my band, and so that's kind of how I got that in. But
nice.
It's just wild to see how I don't know. That's what I really like about the podcast scene. It's just you can talk to anybody now, and like you're from Oklahoma, I'm all the way here in Nashville, dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, I've talked to people in Scotland.
Yeah, dude, nice. That's awesome.
one of my first guests, Weepy, she's a Scottish. She's 100% Scottish.
It's so freaking cool, dude.
Mouth and everything. She's got a mouth on her like a drunken sailor. But she's awesome to talk to, and I love her to death. We've been friends for about a year now, and we interact. That's one thing too. It's just like as a beginning streamer and stuff like that. That's why I try to, I don't have a long reach, but, I try to get as many people to repost my stuff as possible so that their reach can get, because I wanted to use it as a networking thing. It's just like if, granted that most of the people here are probably from your stream and know you, but you never know, like if they're hosting the channel, or if they're doing whatever, that means there's probably 5 or 10 other people that aren't part of your community now that knows of you.
Yeah.
And knows of this channel, and then they can pick where they want to go. But my biggest thing is I'll grow when I grow. That's the way I look at it. It's just like one of these days I'll find that one guest that's just going to put me over the top. But I don't want that right now, because I mentally and equipment wise or space wise and stuff like that, I don't think. I think more mentally, I wouldn't be able to handle like blowing up overnight, so.
Right. I don't know what I'd do. I think my wife would be like, dude, your alerts are already ridiculous on your phone. You're going to have to like live outside.
Yeah.
Live out there, man.
But no, yeah. That's one thing. Is like, I want to, like I said, you guys do the GG's thing, Get What does their thing. You guys are, social media. I want to be more like that. I want to be that side too, but be more of the live, like this, to where you can come into the chat and, and once I can get it set up, it's just like I have a Discord, just specially made for, guests. If they want to come in, they can come into the Discord, and, if you give perks, if you sub to this channel or whatever, then you get a perk to come in. And if they're in there talking, then you guys can come in and talk with them, and stuff like that. So I want to
That's
give
pretty
everybody
awesome.
a chance to network in real life, what
Yeah.
we classify as real life now compared to, just typing, you
Mm-hmm.
know. It's just like when, I had a couple of guests that I ran little contests on Twitter. I put some stupid quiz up on Twitter, and whoever the first person was to answer me got to come on live on the show and be a part of the
Oh, that's
show,
cool. Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
So
And
so that was, I want,
yeah.
I want to help network because so many people don't understand how to make the connections,
Mm-hmm.
because I was that way when I first started. I had no connections,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so.
And that's exactly what I was saying. Like, whenever I first got into Twitch, like, dude, this is so dumb, but this is how my brain works. But like in the video that I was watching, I think it's like there's like how to get affiliated on Twitch or something like
Yeah.
that was like the video that I watched. And on that video it was like, get in there and talk to other people, get in other streams,
Yeah.
talk to them, get to know other people. And I was like, all right, well, so then I did. And I just got on, and like I said, luckily the two first people that I met, I still talk to today. And that
Yep.
was like a year and a half ago or something. And like you being able to provide that networking for other people, like if somebody comes on your stream, gets into your Discord, and then just they're thinking about streaming or they're about to start streaming or something, that's a huge thing, man. Like
Yeah.
networking, man. They
Yeah.
just, you cannot emphasize that enough. If you're trying to get into streaming or podcasting or any of that stuff, I think that it's like essential that you show up,
Yeah.
make sure people know who you are, just getting a lot of chats.
Yeah. 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 That is exactly. Wow, this is the best mic quality John has ever had.
Jester, do not even. Jester, my boy, what are you doing out of the closet? Dang it. Nice. Well, he's got some kind of, I don't even know what kind of witch magic that is that he's been running with this soundboard, but it sounds amazing.
But
nice.
Well, anyways, so I used to do a separate show called Creator Talks, but I just kind of implemented them in this because I just figured it was easier. I already have the creator here instead of trying to get new creators on to do just, a 90-minute segment on Creator Talks. That was just too long to talk about the exact same thing but I know everybody has their own little spins they put, and that's another thing I like about, nothing is proprietary, everybody that I have met, and I've met thousands of people, they're not scared to say, hey, try this, or, this is what I did, nobody, all you got to do is ask the questions. Don't go in their chat, say, hey, I want to start streaming, because I maybe 40% of the people will stop what they're doing and say, hey, okay, let's do this, or, or they might say, here's my link to my Discord, get a hold of me later. But, you got to realize when you go into somebody's personal chat, like John's chat or my personal chat, this one here, I don't care. You can ask any question you want to ask as long as it stays within TOS.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just get in there, just kind of, and watch the streamer. That's what I've done. I watch people. I'll get in and lurk. That's one thing I was going to ask you. It's just like, what do you think about lurkers? Are you one that believes in calling out their lurkers, or you just let your lurkers lurk?
I just let them lurk, man, because I'll have, well, especially, dude, I've got some hater lurkers that happen sometimes, and I'm like, but one time and like I said, sometimes I get into like for some reason, Streamlabs OBS does not show me my chat. So it will say there's 0 people in there, and then I'll click on it and it says that I'm just the only person. John can't escape me. He might be in my closet fending off parasite. Oh my God, demons. But I'm in his closet, which is now my closet. Oh my God. See that? There you go. I like it. But so I don't know, man. For me personally, I don't really necessarily call out. I don't necessarily call out my lurkers or anything, but I had an occasion where I saw the person that was lurking in my chat and I clammed up because I was like, oh my God. I was like, I got a little like starstruck. I was like, holy shit, this person's in my chat right now. And
I've done that.
And then I started acting weird, and I was like, oh God, why did you do this?
Yep.
So I literally try not to look at my chat anymore. I don't know why I do it, but I try not to. 100% me, John. I'm here in the closet to destroy you. Dang. See that? They're
No,
all in the closet. I don't know what happened, but I like it.
I'm the same way too because I don't. I use Mix Up as my bot that runs like my special effects and stuff like that for my personal
Mm,
channel, but I
yeah.
use it to use to just kind of see, especially with all the hate raids and stuff going on. If there's somebody I
Hmm.
don't recognize in there, I kind of I'll check them out or my mods will check them out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I've done that before. It's just like, I mean, they weren't like a big name streamer, like the top
Mm,
5 or whatever. But to me,
yeah.
you know, people that have been doing this longer than me are royalty to me. The ones
Heck
that have
yeah.
made it. So that's why if I see, just like I have a friend of mine, Reanimator, you
Hmm.
know, we've known each other since Mixer days, and so we probably known each other about a year and a half, 2 years, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, she's real supportive of what I do here and stuff like that, and
That's awesome.
so it's just like even now, if she pops up in my list of chatters, I'm the same way. It's just like, it's like I start.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, is this in? Oh,
Dude, and honestly, like the person that came in my stream that I clammed up about, they probably have like on Twitter. I know like on Twitch, I'm sorry, but like on Facebook, they might have a lot of people on there, but on here, they maybe have like 6 to 10 people
yeah.
normally or something. So like they're not a huge streamer, but it's Scott Sigler. He was in my chat one time and I just so happened to click and I was like, oh, I wonder who else in here. And then I clicked and I saw his name. I was like, oh shit. And then I just was like, act natural. What do you do? I don't even know what to do right now.
What is natural? Is this
Yeah,
natural?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
do I smile? Do I not
Yeah, I
smile?
know. And it's horrible. Like, what is my natural? I got no freaking clue, dude. It's ridiculous.
Is
Is
there?
there something I use John as well, louder lo-fi stream that I listen to while working. Dun dun
No,
dun.
there's nothing wrong with lurking.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And like
Chadley.
for me, I look at it like a challenge sometimes. Like if I do see like a person lurking and I notice them in there, I'll try to like just get them to start engaging with it, you know?
Yeah, that's one of my mods. He's like one of my biggest. He's his biggest troll. He's his
Oh,
own
nice.
troll.
There you
Yeah.
go. I like your style, Chad. I like your
No,
style.
he's good, and I've tried to tell him. When he gets on stream, he's
Mhm.
totally entertaining and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
It's just about like marketing yourself, man,
Yeah.
or networking. Networking. There you go.
Yeah.
Not so much marketing. I feel like that's like almost like a dirty term sometimes, you know?
It
But
seems
like,
that way anymore.
yeah, yeah. So you don't necessarily have to have an OnlyFans, but marketing yourself, man, like networking. There you go.
Yeah, but no,
But,
no. Yeah, I mean, so far, like I said, everybody that I've met through this journey and my streaming journey in general,
mm,
uh, I've gotten in with some groups that were, ended up being kind of shady down the road, but that I've
yeah.
bounced out of.
Mm-hmm.
And those are one things you got to worry about becoming a new streamer is watch what you get involved with.
Yeah.
So I mean,
100%.
they've got these bright shiny lights. It's like, oh, come here, we'll help you, and then
Mm-hmm.
you get in there, and it's just like, oh, it's all about me. And
Dude, yes. Like, that's the biggest advice I've been giving people recently. Like, because people ask me, oh, do you know a good gaming org that I can get into? And I'm like, look, I know a couple, but my main thing is if you're looking to get into a gaming org, look at what their people are saying
Mhm.
and look at what they're posting about. And if
Yep.
90% of it is about the owner of the organization, don't go to that organization because it's literally just them trying to like push viewers. There's one org that is really popular and everybody is like, I didn't know this until just recently, but they force people to get into their streams. They're like, if you're grinding for our team, you
Oh,
have to be in our streams. And so they've got like
yep.
100+ viewers on their stuff, but every single member that's in that org has to be on those. They're like obligated or they'll get kicked.
Mhm.
And then if you get kicked out of that org, they like pretty
Trash you.
much unfollow you
Yep.
and stop. And so like it's messed up, man. So if you get into an org, definitely do a lot of networking for yourself and find something that there's like-minded people that you really enjoy talking to. That's a
Yeah.
big thing. Like Jester here, for instance. He's not even a streamer, just an awesome freaking dude. I'm pretty sure he's my son somehow. But like finding people like that you can just like you mesh with well, I think is more important than like finding fake support and like forced support, I would say,
Yeah.
like live it, go to hell yes.
What do
I
you
think I
think?
might Yeah. So Jester knows. Well, no, not that person, but Jester knows somebody that the entire organization is named after, and I'm like, dude, it's rough. But yeah, like I think try to find non-self-promoting places like that. At least
Yeah.
the leader. Don't let them do it too much.
Yeah, because because ask them for their, because most orders have some type of rules. So if you go into, if you think you want to do one, ask them what their requirements for being a part. Like if you could get on a stream team or something like that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the one I did, it came out like a few months after I'd already been into it. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're supposed to do this, and I'm like, you're supposed to put their, carry the logo on the stream all the time, and
Yeah.
I mean, I carry my Glitch logo, but they pay me, in product, so that's the reason.
Yeah.
I'm partnered with them, so that's part of the contract that I signed
stuff,
with them.
dude.
Yeah. The dog for 25% off, by the way. You know how to put a little.
Yeah. There you go. Heck yes.
But no, yeah, you got to really, really be careful about that. We've actually on the 16th, I'm teaming up with some of the gals from the game Hers, and we're gonna
cool name.
try to get I had them on too. I thought they'd been around for like years, but you talking about wanting to learn marketing your stream, they've only been in basically business, so you want to say, because this is a business, they've only been in business for 2 years. Dang. But by the way they have marketed themselves, you think they have been around forever.
That's pretty freaking awesome, though. Because and I think like I like the fact that like a lot of people will take their prior experience and add it to streaming now, because I really feel like that's where you're seeing a lot of this early success is from people that are doing that.
And that's the whole basis on these shows. Talking to you guys, you get to put it's just like you get to find out who the person is that you normally don't see behind camera on their stream, because they're focused on talking to their community or interacting with their community. And some of the things we talk about on these shows, a lot of people don't talk about on those because of the diverse chat that you have or something like that, or diverse community. So
yeah,
I mean, I try to stay, politics I'll talk about to a point like we did, but it's just like religion I try to stay completely away from.
Dude, yes. It's like there's no win there. There's no win there.
Religion, somebody started talking about religion, it's just like I have friends that, we got into a philosophical religious conversation last night that, I had to mute my mic and mute their, the Discord. Just, I wanted to keep the conversation going because you drug me into it. So now you get to get my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you're, it's just like, you're free to be yourself on this channel. I mean, you don't have to worry about other, just make sure that it doesn't violate TOS, but you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, do whatever, say whatever you want to do. And, that's kind of, I want it to be something that brings the personality out that you might not see, and you might not know that you have until you get behind here, because 90% of the people that I've had on the show have never been on a podcast or a talk show or anything like that.
Yeah.
So they've never been in a relaxed atmosphere where they could just get to talk about themselves.
I think it's cool. And like, honestly, the fact that you're like hosting that for a lot of the people that you are is really freaking neat. I mean, like, I think I've been on now, this is like my third ever not hosting the podcast, being on a podcast thing. And I thank you for the experience, man. Because like,
no problem.
I don't know. It's a lot less nerve-wracking on this side. I'm just gonna say that.
It is. I mean, I've never been on one. So yeah, I can probably imagine, because everybody tells me, it's just like, oh yeah, you did a good job. You can never tell, but it's just like, I really bombed, in my opinion. Sweet Southern.
Dude, no, not at all.
But see, there's one of the gals from the previous tournament, and I met a lot of people from doing that tournament too. A lot of COD players and stuff like that. Even though, I mean, everybody said they had fun. I know the event bombed because we had a power outage in the beginning.
Oh dang!
So like the first hour was like everybody was like, "Where's he at? What's happening?" And I lost my phone. I'm trying to find my phone so I could get into Discord and start talking to people, and it was crazy. I'm good.
I'm telling you, man. Like that type stuff is 100% what being a streamer is all about, and being able to roll with the punches, dude. It was a blast. Whenever we started doing that, the GG's podcast, whenever we first started doing that, the first episode, I didn't realize, like, before the podcast started, I was like, did this whole speech. I was like, come hell or high water, I'm there, dudes. I'm there no matter what. I've got this. So, you never have to worry about me with scheduling. The first episode that we had, I'm on vacation. And all I had was my phone, and I was like, all right, well, I'm not bailing. So I had some headphones, my phone, and I streamed out of a closet. So I'm standing up in this closet with like a freaking tiger painting behind me that I found in the living room of this like VRBO. And dude, I had this little thing up, and I swear, that's the most random podcast ever. But after that, I was like, they were like, well, he said he's never canceling. So
yeah,
it's pretty good.
And I thought about doing that too, because like the real life stuff like seems to catch a lot of people's attention. So I think now that I've gotten out of my comfort zone, doing this was like way out of my comfort zone, and I think that's the reason why I took a break in between to see if I was actually wanting to continue to do it, and then I had a lot of positive, feedback from everybody that was on there and some of the audience and some of the chat. So it's just like, okay, so, we're going to fire off season 2. And by the way, this is the premiere episode of season 2. So I'm glad I got you on here.
Yes. Heck yeah. We're just setting the bar low for the rest of the bunch.
No, this is setting the bar high, man.
Dude, heck yes. But no, seriously, I don't know. I'm stoked to see what all you do with this podcast, because I think it's a really good thing that you're doing for people and helping everybody network and like spotlighting some people that need it, man. Because Twitch is like, it can be a lonely place if you don't have the right people in front of you, So
and after the first of the year, I'm gonna have a little bit more extra time to where I can spend, because what I started kind of experimenting now is now that I have my video editing program that I'm getting used to more. I'm taking some of the interviews, like the past interviews and like your interview and everybody else's I'm going to make like little snip clippets and
there you go.
Throw them up on Instagram and TikTok and sit there and say, hey, come check this person out. That way they can see, because I can clip the videos and put it into what I want to put in there. And make it stand out. I did one for Pirates. Pirates was my test one on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
So it's like, and I think I've got like 137 hits on that,
nice.
On TikTok. So it's like, so people are looking at them. So,
Are you saying there's going to be some deep fakes eventually? I might have some like deep fakes where I've got like John Travolta's face.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I do have the reface. I do have the reface app.
Then there you go, man. The sky's the limits.
Somebody
John Travolta.
Somebody told me one time, it's like when I shaved my head my hair really, really low, and and I had my goatee kind of cleaned up a lot more. They said I kind of look like a Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Dude,
the way I was sitting. So I went onto that reface app, and it's like, oh my fucking God, I do. And there wasn't much of a change,
but it just put your face on the
the only thing that really changed was his body, my body beefed up and everything else, but it's just like, okay.
Heck yeah, dude, nice. And I was gonna say you almost had a slight, like you at least look like you could be a cousin or a relative of some kind. My boy, freaking Garth Brooks. I was like, kind of almost have Garth Brooks look, and look, and that's not a like a backhanded compliment or anything. My wife is always like, Garth Brooks, pretty handsome dude. I'm like, better back yourself up, dude.
That's the first time I've ever been. I mean, I love Garth Brooks. Yeah, I love his history and stuff like that. And he's from Oklahoma. He used to he actually used to live, when he was married, before he got married to Trisha. Him and his wife lived in the town like 45 minutes from where I live.
Look, we're starting it here. Conspiracy. You're related to Garth Brooks, or you could be Garth Brooks. I don't know.
No. I ain't going down to the sun. No, I'm just joking.
We caught him.
Yeah.
Somebody clip that.
Somebody clip it. No, don't. No, just kidding. But no, yeah, it's just and I think there needs to be more places like GGs and Expand and Get Wet and things like this, and so. Bloody hell, it does look like what? No,
I'm just saying, Chester. We got him. We got him. It is Garth.
A younger Garth, maybe.
Yeah. Well, of course. Garth's not looking. I haven't seen him recently, but yeah, a younger Garth, most definitely. Garth in his prime.
Yeah, and see, I'm the one thing is I did miss. I really wanted to go see his shows when he used to do the ones that fly across his audience and stuff like that. Because he doesn't. Yeah, he used to sit rigs up, and he would fly across the audience.
Dude, what in the
Yeah.
heck? Thunder rolls and Garth Brooks is freaking 40 feet above you, just soaring, just shredding the guitar.
But yeah, he used to put on. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I think he's kind of toned down, because like I said, when him and his wife, because they waited till the kids got out of school, because the kids went to the school up here, and so when the kids got out of school, they, him and his wife split and went separate ways. She still lives up here. This shows how good of a guy he is in general.
Yeah.
He built her a new house.
That is pretty awesome.
He built her mom and dad a house.
Jeez.
And then he still comes back here and interacts with him and with the kids and her and everything else. So I mean, it's not like he just sit there and they booted each other out of their lives. So they just realized that they So, but I think he lives in Nashville now.
I wouldn't surprise me, man. It would not surprise me. He plays a lot of shows here now.
Yeah,
he's been doing like a lot of random pop-up shows. I really quick, I got another story for you, and then, we were playing. There's a place called the Bluebird Cafe, which is like where Garth Brooks was discovered in Nashville or whatever. Like he was like one of his last shows or something like that, and he was like, "I'm not playing it anymore," and he got a record exec found him. Well, we went and I got invited to play there. It's singer-songwriters night, and I was like so nervous. And right before me was like this 12-year-old girl that played, and she crushed, man. She was like, "This song is about my dad. He's got like cancer or leukemia or something like that." And he's like, and it was just a tearjerker of a song. Packed house. There's people wrapped around the building and everybody's in tears. And so like right before I go on, that's her. And that's like the caliber of like musicianship out there. And then right after that is me. And I walk up and I'm just like, "Oh God, how do you follow this?" Everybody's still crying from this girl. And then I was like, "All right, well, hey guys, I'm John. And this song's about my ex-girlfriend. Really didn't like it that much." And then I just go and start singing the song. But like, yeah, Nashville's rough, man. I guess that's where I'm getting at. But just Garth Brooks thing, dude, that was forever one of the like, I guess, short guy on the basketball team feeling that I've ever had was that one moment right there. That little 12-year-old girl humbled the crap out of me. I was like, "Oh my God."
Well, you're talking about shooting for the stars on asking people on. I think since he's an Oklahoma native and I'm from Oklahoma,
get him on the doghouse.
I'm gonna try, because I have a question I want to ask him, because there's a story that I can't confirm with anybody and it's not out there. But I'm originally from Dodge City, Kansas, and well, we used to have a country bar out there called a Longhorn. Well, back when Garth Brooks started, before he, found his fame and fortune, he would tour these little small town honky tonks, and stuff like that, and just play the honky tonks. Well, supposedly there's a story going around that he used to pull up in this unmarked bus, and his band manager would get out and go up to and just walk into the honky tonk or the bar or whatever and say, "Hey, I have this unknown band, would you, be interested in signing them?" And they played in several other ones, blah, blah, blah. Some would say yes and some would say no. Well, the ones that would say no, he would sit there and go, "Okay," and come back out, and he would come back to the deal and ask for the bar manager, and they'd walk out to the bus, and then,
oh my God,
step off the bus would be Garth Brooks. And he goes,
"Dude,
I guess, they would sit there and say, he would tell them, it's like, "Man, I'm trying to promote no-name bands. Because, we were no name, and so it's like, I don't know if that story's true, and I would really like to find out. So maybe I can get him and Trisha both on, that would
shoot for the stars, dude. I think you've got this. Trisha's got some kind of a cooking show now. I just recently stumbled across, and I'm just saying she can cook. So, yeah.
Well, do you guys have any questions for John? If you guys first in chat do not know him, I know like Southern. I don't know if you know John Reaves, but JohnReavesLive. He's on Twitch. He's a podcaster. He plays games. He talks to his chat. He's an all around good guy.
Thank you.
I'm really blessed that I have. I think he plays like a variety of stuff. What are you into right now?
Like right now I've been playing a lot of like this Final Fantasy VII First Soldier. It's like a first-person shooter game. I'm not good at gaming, okay? I'm just going to go in and tell you, Tin Man, I am horrible at playing shooters, at least, but I try. and so I guess that's what counts, right?
Yeah.
But I do a lot of variety streaming though, for sure. He's the world's okayest guy. We're setting the
Dude,
bar, guys.
yeah, dude. You know, like I
Some
said,
direction.
I've met a lot of people. You know, and I try not to be biased to certain ones, but
Mhm.
you're bad at them too. It's not you, Chad. Oh yeah, he's the dude that's always on top of the leaderboard every fucking time we play. Oh
Oh
God.
God.
Yeah.
There you go. See, that's awesome. I played Apex with one of my wife's friends that's been like, oh, he's a gamer, right? He's got to be good at Apex. He's never called back asking me to play Apex.
That would be me.
God. Yeah,
but
it was so funny. He was like, you must be good.
nope. Yeah. I can tell you what though, I think I found my niche in Halo though. I'm getting actually pretty decent
Oh,
in
there you
Halo.
go.
So
Heck yeah, man.
But-
Dude, seriously, this Final Fantasy VII First Soldier game has been so fun. So I've been getting into that a lot, and I'm trying to get to be like part of their like affiliate program.
oh nice.
But we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see if that happens. Who knows? If not, I'll go back to other games.
But yeah, but I know he's got to bounce out of here. I know we had a rough start, but I think we erased that part, so I think we're good to go. We ended up with like I said, a pretty decent show. I mean, got to know a lot about him. We got to talk about, thoughts and ideas, and that's kind of what the whole project of this show is all about. So, but if you guys have not, make sure you guys go over and follow him on Twitch. See if it actually works. Nothing else has worked tonight. Hey, it works. There we go. Go follow him on Twitch and go follow him on YouTube. Also on GGCV. I hope that was right. I hope that's the right link.
Oh
right.
yeah. Yep, that's me.
But,
dude, thank you.
But anyways, you get the idea. Just go to GGCV. You'll see John right at the top of every. He's one of those that's always on top when he's on live.
There you go.
But yeah. And if you guys have not found GGCV, GGTV is kind of like it's an all around social media platform that's built by gamers for gamers. And so they don't promote follow for follow like a lot of places do, and they promote positivity, and they promote their streamers, and plus you can make some cool cash. So that's the only app I know you can make money for just being a part of.
yeah, exactly. Dude, it's been crazy too on that aspect of it. It's been pretty wild. We had some bots recently that tried to come through and really take advantage of that. But
I kind of seen
but
some
it's
of
all
that.
good.
Yeah. And not only that, you get to you meet some cool guys. Like I said, I met John through there. I've met actually he was on when we did the developer interview with him and Panda. So there's some pretty cool people out there. Like I said, I've met Battlescar out there. I've met
dude, she's so cool.
I've met quite a bunch of them. I know I've been kind of lax because I've been working on the new season, so I haven't been on my page in a while. But I know, like I said, after the first year, I'm going to have hopefully a little bit more time to be able to get myself into more people's chats because I miss getting into people's chats. But yeah.
Man, again, thank you so much for freaking having me on here, man. I feel honored to be the first guest on here. So, for season 2. So,
the season 2, the rebrand. Like I said, it used to be called In the House. Now we're calling it Dog and Company. So
nice. I like it, dude. But it's catchy.
Yeah. And but yeah, you have a good rest of your night. Like I said, thank you very much. Make sure you guys get over there and follow him. Make sure if you haven't downloaded GG's app, download it now so you get used to it because they're coming out with a new one.
Yeah.
I found my clickbait for the video.
Yes, I like it, dude.
New app reveal.
Austin's gonna be like, John, what the hell did you say? just take that right there and click that, and then people will be like, okay. Yes. Nice.
But
well, brother, again, thank you so much for having me on here, man.
No problem.
No problem. Freaking I'll be spreading this around everywhere as well too.
I appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for coming in. And we really appreciate it. I mean, even though we bombed out at the first and lost a bunch of you, y'all came back hard and strong. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, if you haven't, I forgot to mention something real quick before we go. Starting December 12th, we're starting the annual 12 Days of Christmas. The only thing you have to do to enter is from this day forward, since season 2 started, you have to be a follower from now on to be able to have a free entry into it. So basically, hit that follow button on the channel, get in here, and let's go do this. Like I said, we're going to be doing giveaways for 12 days starting on December 12th, and a big giveaway on the 24th, a live giveaway. I haven't. It's going to be. I mean, it's not going to be like humongous like a PlayStation or anything like that, but because I'm not that rich. And unless you guys hit that sub button and start subscribing too, that would help.
There you go.
There's a promo one in there for like $100. It's only $100, guys. Come on. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But anyways, John, I appreciate your time, and
hey, not a problem, brother.
I appreciate all your community coming out and supporting you. That is what I love to see. Is when your own community comes out and supports you on other things. So that means you have a tight knit community.
Well, I love them even if they are crazy. So thank you guys.
All right. You guys be good. Take care. And I don't know if this is all going to work or not, but we're going to go. Yeah, it does work. Yes. All right.
Nice.
But anyways, like I said, JohnReavesLive, everybody, make sure you go follow him on these. But we're going to take out of here, let him go do his thing with his family and what he has done. And my music stopped playing. And but like I said, I am Rebel Dog. This here is the Doghouse Live, Dog and Company. We have 3 more shows coming up next Tuesday on the, I think it's the 14th. Yeah, the 14th. We have It's Fatal. She's a content creator on Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. She's a cosplayer as well. So it's going to be really interesting. I love to hear the different aspects of different people's lives and creation stories. So she's only going to be my second full-fledged cosplayer that I had on here. So it's going to be really nice. After that, then we have, I know the Mixer fame. He got his fame from Mixer, being a Mixer partner, sniping with Dom. He used to be a partner on Mixer, and so I mean, I know you're going to hear a lot of people from Mixer. That's just because that's where I grew up on, was Mixer. So,
yeah.
But anyways, I'm meeting a lot of people on different ones. Stream on the main channel after this. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try to get this video edited down, and since there was a big snafu at the beginning, and it didn't go up on YouTube because YouTube never started. It says it started, but it never started. And it says you got too many stream keys going, or too many something ingest or something going at one time. It's like, okay, whatever. But anyways, like I said, JohnReavesLive, everybody, thank you very much. And we will talk to you guys. Come back next Tuesday. Or actually, we have the Unfiltered podcast on Saturday, I believe, starting at 10:30 p.m. That's adults only. So if you're not an adult, I suggest probably not to show up because we just, it's unfiltered, you know. So we talk anything about anything. But anyways, I'm gonna let him out of here. I'm gonna shut up and quit talking. You guys have a good day. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Heck yeah, man. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.